Hi, welcome back. Today I'm pulling out some products in my collection that are affordable but feel more luxurious than what their price tag represents. You know, you always find, or not always, it's actually pretty rare that you find products at the drugstore and you apply them and you just think, this is luxurious. This feels like, you know, something you could pick up at the high-end makeup counter. My one beef with drugstore products, especially these that I'm about to mention that do feel a little bit more luxurious, I feel like the packaging never represents that. I want to see more luxe, like chic drugstore packaging, you know what I mean? But otherwise, the contents inside perform really well, feel nice on the skin, and these are just things in my collection that when I apply them, I think expensive. So I want to start out with what I'm wearing on my skin today. I've played it up a little bit more just to showcase the eye product I'm going to talk about later, but in reality, in its actual form, it is a very lightweight, hydrating, almost reminds me of like a luxurious K-beauty product. It's the NYX Bare With Me Tinted Skin Veil, and it's exactly what the name describes. I've talked about this in previous videos. It's just such a beautiful product. When you apply it, your skin looks really plump, it looks hydrated, but it's not one of those skin tints that looks really wet or greasy on the skin. I actually recommend this for combination skin a lot of the time, but you'll see in the demo, it just makes my skin look really fresh, hydrated, plump, youthful. I love it. Every time I use it, I just feel like it has expensive vibes, almost La Mer vibes to me, if that makes sense. I've never tried the La Mer Tinted Moisturizer, but if I did, I would imagine it to be something like this. This next product I was laughing about the other day because it had a viral moment on TikTok where a bunch of young people, and it's funny that I say young people because I know I'm gonna get comments saying, you're still young. I'm talking like teenagers, were raving about this product, saying it was a dupe for the KVD vegan apple balm foundation. I don't know. It's just the KVD Beauty that's rebranded their like compact foundation. A lot of people were saying that this was a dupe, and it's funny because I've been using this product for a couple of years. I've always talked very fondly about it, and it's the Covergirl Olay Simply Ageless foundation, the one in the compact. So it's the one that has the little moisturizing swirl in it. I think I just used this in a recent video. This to me feels like a very classic luxurious product, almost like something I would recommend for the more mature skin group because it is ultra hydrating. It's really balmy on the skin. It kind of just leaves you with quite a bit of coverage. This does have a good solid medium coverage, but in a very, again, luminous, youthful looking way. It is supposed to have some hyaluronic properties to it and vitamin C, but overall it just applies really seamlessly on the skin. It's kind of like a no effort foundation, and I feel like I'm applying something substantial to my skin. The packaging, I mean, nothing special, but the product inside, it feels really hydrating, very luxurious. Again, kind of like that balm foundation hybrid. You've heard me compare this to Armani Luminous Silk before, and I still stand by that. Even though I really enjoy Armani Luminous Silk, I can point out the distinct differences in it and this foundation, but they are very close. It's the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Silk Elixir Foundation. So some differences in this formula and Armani Luminous Silk. This one's a little bit more runny. You're going to find that it is a little bit more wet and a little bit more dewy in its finish. However, the way that it looks, the way that it applies is very similar to Luminous Silk. Luminous Silk does offer a much better shade range. We all have been knowing Physicians Formula, they need to pick up the game on the shades because I mean, the undertones, just, they're off. It's off. So that's the downside with this foundation. However, if you can find a shade that matches you, and you've always wanted to try Luminous Silk, but you didn't want to splurge on it, I think this is the closest product at the drugstore. And I will say I'm always very pleased with how my skin looks when I use this. Like I said, it is pretty dewy on the skin, but it gives you this radiance, this lifted look from within. If you are on the normal to dry side, I think you would really enjoy this. Combination oily, probably not so much. Otherwise, really beautiful foundation that just feels more expensive. This is a beautiful, silky smooth powder foundation. Definitely the best I have ever found at the drugstore. I think this, you can't really find this at all drugstores. It's mainly at Ulta. I think you can also get it on like Amazon. But it's the Cat Aquasurance Compact Powder Foundation. Again, really lacking in shade selection with this product, but it is so creamy, so silky. If you have ever been a person that's just been off-putted by powder foundations because you find them to be drying, this is the complete opposite. It's just very creamy when you apply it, and it doesn't matter if you apply it with a brush, it doesn't matter if you apply it with a sponge. It looks very smooth, and it is pretty full coverage. It's a medium full coverage powder. I ended up just using it as my setting powder today since I was using the NYX Tinted Skin Veil. I didn't want to go overboard with it, but you can use this as an overall foundation or just as a general setting powder. But it's my problem with especially a lot of affordable or drugstore powder foundations, they're just dry, and I feel like they're just glorified pressed powders. Brands don't add any more pigment to them, and they just end up being marketed as a powder foundation when in reality they're just really compact pressed setting powders. This one is not. I'm happy to report you can go full coverage with it. You can use it as powder foundation, or you can use it as setting powder, and it's lovely, beautiful formula. This is an interesting product that I really did not have in my collection for a long time, didn't really touch it until recently. I felt like I needed a setting spray for whatever day I did my makeup. I just felt like I needed to tone it down. I needed something to rehydrate my face. So I pulled this one out, and I really enjoy it, and I'm not surprised because it's probably my favorite affordable brand at the moment, and it's Flower Beauty. So this is the Seal the Deal Luminizing Setting Spray, and I never noticed actually until today that I think there is maybe a little bit of like a reflective property like floating around in here, but it's not chunky glitter. It's like you can barely see it in this bottle. But what I love about it is the mister. The mister on it is so fine. It has the finest mister that I've ever tried, especially for a drugstore or affordable product. And just overall, I find that it works really well with whatever makeup look I'm doing for the day, whether that's something that I haven't set with powder, whether it's something that is powder. It can go both ways. Instant hydration, I love the mister. I love the mister on it. I've never been a big setting spray kind of gal. I will say maybe circa like 2013, 2014, I was repping Urban Decay All Nighter, and then I found out it was just really dehydrating and drying out my skin because it had a ton of alcohol in it. I haven't found that this one dries my skin out. I haven't checked to look at the ingredients, but I also don't use it every single day. However, if you're looking for a nice setting spray, this one is key. It's clutch. Let's go ahead and roll out on my second Flower Beauty product, which is something I feel like I've talked about in my past 5 videos. But it's the Light Illusion Concealer, perfect dupe for Dior Skin Forever Concealer. This is I have a really hard time finding affordable concealers that I like. They are either too heavy coverage trying to mimic Tarte Shape Tape, or they're super sheer and they just don't do much for me. This is the perfect in between. It is not too dewy, it's not too matte. It gives a nice medium full coverage, and it has a lovely satin finish to it. It is a perfect formula, and like I said, I think it's a hands down total dupe for Dior Forever Skin, which is like a $34 concealer. If you've never tried it, Would highly recommend. Let's talk about what I have on my eyes. I may get some heat for this because it is going to be the most expensive product that I talk about in today's video. However, it's gonna last you ages, and I just feel like for what you get and the beautiful finish of it, it is reasonably priced. It's something that's going to last you forever in your makeup collection, and it's the Bodyography Pressed Glitter Pigments. I've been talking about these for quite a few years now. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I chose to wear the most difficult shade to showcase today. Just know that I use most of these shades as more of like eye toppers. The shade that I use today, Caviar, it's a really like rich soot brown. It's a little bit more tedious to apply, but I often use the shade Sparkler and Stratus, and I literally take one finger, tap on the middle of my eye, and it's just like bam, in your face. Beautiful high shine finish. If you're doing a smoky eye, if you're doing just a really pretty, simple, like golden bronze eye, it can really bump your look up to the next level. They're just stunning. They are beautiful products. I feel like they don't get enough hype. And although they are in the higher end for each product I'm going to mention today, like I said, for the amount of product that you get, for the amount of time that it's going to last, and also just the overall quality, I think that they were worth mentioning. So my favorite shades are Sparkler and Stratus, but if you like a little smoke action, Caviar, that one's also, it's beautiful. These next products are also some eyeshadows that I have championed for quite some time now, and they are dupes for the Armani eye tints. They're dupes for the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Chrome Veils, and I think that they can even outperform those depending on the shade that you're using at times. And it's L'Oreal Brilliant Eyes liquid eyeshadows. Stunning, easy, one and done shades. I mean, I also mix these a lot. I mix the shades Bronze Light and Diamond Drop, and I kind of create like a custom mix. You could easily mix any of these shades and get a beautiful finish, but even if you use them by themselves, they're lovely, beautiful, creamy, pigmented, long lasting. But I have Amethyst Quartz, Bronze Light, and Diamond Drop, and those three are safe, at least from my experience using them. If you love just high shine metallic finishes, even if you are someone that just wants a little bit of shine on the eyes, you can really sheer these out. Very versatile, easy to work with. These are probably my favorite cream blushes currently at the drugstore. They're ultra creamy, they are pigmented, they really match up to any of my high-end cream blushes, and they're Milani Cheek Kiss. The Milani Cheek Kiss in the compact. They also make the liquid cheek kisses, which I like. If you're more of a fan of like a Glossier Cloud Paint, you might like those better. I prefer this formula. I'm always going to pick more of a solid cream over that liquid watery texture, just because I find that these hold up and apply better with my skin type. So I actually only have one of these at the moment. I've been dying to get more so I could do more looks, because this particular shade, I'm wearing a little bit of it today. I didn't want to go overboard because I didn't feel like it went with the look overall. It's called Merlot Moment, but there are a couple of other more like neutral shades. There's a nude one that I'm dying to get my hands on. But like I said, these are really creamy, very easy to apply, and super pigmented. I find with affordable like cream blushes, a lot of the times they're either too dry, or a lot of them just run on that liquid watery consistency. And unless I'm just wearing a really sheer skin tint and nothing else, I'm not going to pick that particular formula because it's just too watery. It tends to move around my base. This is just classic, perfect cream blush formula. I can't rave about it enough. It feels luxurious. It feels healthy, natural on the skin when you apply it. It's not too overwhelming. Yeah, it checks off all the boxes for me. So this is a little bit that I haven't pulled out in a while, but when I was comparing, again, all of my cream liquid blushes, I pulled this one out and I was like, you know what? This one has the most pigment out of all of the affordable blushes that I own. It performs really well, and overall, I think it's just a good, versatile, especially compared to the Milani one I just talked about. This is kind of the opposite formula that I was talking about because it is considered definitely to be more of a liquid blush. But like I said, it's pigmented and it applies really evenly, and I don't find it to be super sheer or patchy. It is the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Dewy Blush Elixir. So this came out with the Physicians Formula that I talked about previously. They were a part of the same launch, and I remember buying these together and just being like overwhelmed, completely stunned by how beautiful they look together. So another reason I wanted to talk about this is because you get quite a bit of product in this bottle. It is $13, which is moving into the higher price category, still pretty affordable given the pricing of just drugstore products in general now. But there's 0.5 fluid ounces in here, and it's a big bottle, and a little tiny pump will take you a long way. So I really appreciate this formula again because it is on the liquid category or the liquid scale, but it actually has pigment. It doesn't just shear out and turn into nothing. So for the amount that you get, the pigment, I have to say, and just overall, it looks beautiful on the skin. I have to say that this definitely falls into the more luxurious category for me with a lower price tag. I think this is probably my most prized affordable product that I just always compare to higher end brow products, and it's e.l.f. Wow Brow. Nothing compares to it for me. It just absolutely is a beautiful formula. Hands down, dupes, Glossier's Wow Brow, and that's a product that I used for years. I use the shade Blonde in this because I prefer just lighter products on my brows in general, but it's the perfect texture. It's not too dry. It's not too wet. I hate wet brow pomades, brow gels. They just, no, I don't like them. I would rather them be too dry than too wet of a formula. This also does contain fibers in it, so it does give that really like full filled in appearance, and it's one of the few brow products that I can get away with just using by itself, like not having to actually fill in with a pencil or whatever. It's like $4 and you won't regret it. Even if you do, it was $4. Let's talk about some lip products, shall we? I'm going to start off with what I am wearing on my lips today. It's kind of a weird combination. The first is the Flower Beauty Scribble Stick. So this is a multi-purpose lip and eye product. I know some people, it gives them the heebie-jeebies to multi-purpose. Just don't do it if you're not comfortable with it. I totally understand. But in particular, the shade Bitter Sweet. I talked about this in my Flower Beauty review, or my Flower Beauty... my full face Flower Beauty video that I did recently, and the shade is stunning on this. I love it. It's a great everyday color, and I really like the formula on this because you can use it as a lip liner and also just a full-on lip color. It feels really smooth. It's definitely on the matter side, but it does not give a dry appearance to the lips. Second thing that I'm wearing, I think this is definitely the best old school lip liner formula that one can find at the drugstore in terms of longevity. These last really long on me, and also just texture. They're very creamy lip liners, and it's the Revlon Color Stay Longwear lip liners. I just don't think anything can rival them. They're classic. They last long. They're just what most people want in a lip pencil, I find. Creamy, long lasting. They come in a good variety of shades. The one that I use the most is the one that I'm wearing today, and it's just in the shade Nude. It's kind of a darker shade. It's a darker, like warm, brownish nude, if you will. I don't even know if I would call it nude. Anyways, I'm wearing it today, and then to top everything off, I'm wearing the Revlon Super Lustrous The Gloss. This is, I want to say this is like their newer formula, because I always remember Revlon Super Lustrous, but I don't know why this one says the gloss. I just remember when I went in and bought these a few months ago, there was like a new stand and maybe they just repackaged them. I don't know. But these are really beautiful. I'm going to talk about some plumping lip products soon, and I wanted to have an option for those of you who, you know, aren't plumpers. This is me. This is me in a lip gloss. I love this shade. Not too dark, not too sheer. Great mid-tone color, especially for my skin tone. All right, rounding things out, as promised, I had some plumping products to talk about because I personally love a good plump. I love a good tingle on the lips. You can't deter me away from a plumper gloss. It doesn't matter how stinging it is. It doesn't matter how minty it is. I'm down. Milani Keep It Full, the best lip gloss at the drugstore, dare I say. Juicy, full, plumping, gorgeous. It's just an all-around, full-on dupe for one of my all-time favorite lip gloss formulas, which is the Buxom lip glosses. This can definitely hold a candle to the Buxom. Shades, not so much, but these do come in some really pretty colors. You just have to try these for yourself. They make your lips look giant, full, and juicy. I'm just always in awe with the formula. Every time I apply these to my lips, I'm just like, who is she? Whose lips are these? They make you have hot lips. I'm not gonna lie. So if you've never tried them, I talk about them all the time, so I'm not gonna go on and on, but they are totally worth it. The second is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss. This was something I was very surprised by. Not as high shine as the Milani ones, but it does give a good plump to the lips. I will say again, if you are not an extreme lip plumping product person, you might want to go the e.l.f. route because it's not as tingly in my opinion as the Milani ones, but again a little bit cheaper than the Milani ones. So if we want to take it down in the price category, the e.l.f. is also going to be the Milani in that one. Either way, I don't think you can go wrong with either formula. Neither one of them are sticky. They're very lightweight and they both look really shiny and beautiful on the lips. This is something I forgot about until I cleaned out my lip collection the other day. I did a full clean out, had my mom come over and help me go through some of my older lip products. This was something that I found and it's not old. I purchased this probably before Christmas time last year, and I just remember being really impressed with it. And when I found it the other day, I immediately thought to myself, that product reminds me of something that's high-end. The formula just feels ultra lightweight on this. It's just a really beautiful lip product. It's the Ulta Beauty Tinted Juice Infused Lip Oil. So this is a lip oil. It does give, the shade that I have gives a really nice amount of color to the lips. It's not super sheer at all, and it's in the shade Tea Rose. It comes in a few colors. The shade selection wasn't super extensive on these, but it feels like nothing on your lips. It is definitely the classic definition of a lip oil, but it provides shine and it looks really healthy and thin. Like, you know what I mean? Like an oil. It looks very thin and beautiful and youthful on the lips. If you're someone that doesn't like glosses and you're not really a lipstick person either, you want something lightweight, these are a good option to look into. I just found that the formula really did remind me of just like a higher end lip oil. So this was a pleasant surprise to find in my collection because I had forgotten about it, but back in my life now. Okay, I think that was my full lineup. I really tried to condense products that I haven't like hammered into your head too hard, but also that you know I really enjoy and that I use. There are some things that, you know, I tried to refrain from talking about because I've talked so frequently of them, but you know my drugstore classics, you know my drugstore staples, you know my dupe videos. If not, I'll link them down below. These were just definitely things that I own that are performing at more of like a luxurious standard and that I really enjoy and that I also haven't maybe championed enough. So I hope you enjoyed seeing them. Let me know what some of your drugstore or affordable products are down below that remind you of a more high-end product. I would love to know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.